This video is for 6th grade Ag and is on the Introduction to FFA, and it will be part 1. Today we are going to create our flip books. I'm sorry I can't be with you guys, but this is what we always do for our very first FFA lesson, and I do not want you guys to miss out. So what we're going to do today is create a flip book that we will be taking all of our notes in for the FFA. So it's going to take up a good little bit of time, so that's what our focus is going to be. So right now, if somebody can pass out 2 sheets of yellow paper and 2 sheets of blue paper to each student in the class, so everybody needs 2 blue, everybody needs 2 yellow, go ahead and get that done. And once everybody has their paper, I'm going to show you how to set up your flip book and how to label it. Okay, so now everybody should have 2 sheets of blue paper and 2 sheets of yellow paper. So what you need to do is take 1 sheet of blue paper, lay it flat on your desk, and take a sheet of yellow paper, and what we're going to do is lay it on top, but we want to stagger it a little bit. So we want there to be about a 1/2 inch space down at the bottom so it looks like this. Okay, so not quite a full inch, but you don't want it too tiny, you don't want it too big, you want it just about a 1/2 inch. That's a good width right there. Okay, so once you get this one done, take your other sheet of blue paper. You're going to do the same thing. Lay it on top of the yellow paper, again about a 1/2 inch down. So we're just kind of staggering these to make our flip book. We're alternating colors. And so then you still have your last yellow sheet. Place it on top as well. And so now it should look like this. So you have the 4 different colors, and the next step is kind of tricky, so pay attention. What we're going to do is take the top part and fold it over, but we don't want to fold it all the way over, okay? We want to create another section, so you're going to end up having 2 yellow flaps together. So it'll be just about like that. Put it down and crease it. And so now you should have the flip book with 8 different sections, so blue, yellow, blue, yellow, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. And if they're not entirely perfect, that's okay. You do want it to be as close as possible though. Oops, so mine's coming out. So, alright, now we've got this. What you're going to do once everybody gets theirs folded, you need to just kind of, bump it on your desk, make sure all the creases are together. And then we're going to put 2 staples in the very top. Make sure it goes through every page so it looks like this. Okay, now we're going to label our book. This blue top right here is going to be our title page. And tomorrow during part 2, once we actually start putting in the information, I'm going to give you an information packet, and one of the things in that information packet is going to be a little image that says FFA, and we'll eventually cut that out and glue it right here. So essentially this is our title page. So when we start labeling, we're going to start labeling at this yellow page right here. Okay, now that we have our flip book assembled, I'm going to show you the different labels for each page. So again, that top blue flap is our title page. You don't want to write anything on it. Okay, so starting at our, there we go. Starting on that top yellow tab, so you're going to keep your booklet closed. You don't want to open up any of the pages. You want to be able to see these labels when your book is entirely closed. So on that first yellow line, you are going to label it, what is it? And this is where we'll put some of the FFA introductory material, so basically defining FFA and what it is. The next section is blue, and you are going to title it FFA Basics. So we will be talking about some of the basic information of the FFA, and we'll list that information in that section. Your next tab is yellow, and you will need to label that the emblem. And an emblem is a visual representation of a group. That's going to be an important word for you to remember. So label that 3rd flap, which is yellow, you'll want to label it the emblem. Okay, your next flap is also yellow, and you will need to title it Important Dates. We're going to put some important dates in FFA history on that section. Your next tab or label is blue, and you're going to write official dress. Now, some of you are probably freaking out right now because you guys see that word dress, but no frets. Official dress is basically referring to a uniform or the way that FFA members dress, but we'll get to that. We're just labeling the pages right now. Your next tab is yellow, and you will label it the creed. A creed is a written statement of beliefs, and so we have our FFA creed, and we will review that once we start going through this information. The last tab, I want you to label it opportunities. We're going to look at some of the opportunities available to you through the FFA and list that information there. So take a couple minutes, make sure that you get each page labeled correctly. Make sure you do it in the correct order, because we are going to be filling in some information into that info packet I mentioned, and then we're going to cut and paste it into this flip book. So it's important that you put the right titles on the right pages so the information will fit. So go ahead and get that done, and then I'll give you an example, show you to make sure that you labeled everything like you were supposed to. Okay, so now you should have everything labeled correctly. Again, this blue sheet should be blank up at the top, and then you should have labeled everything going down. So your yellow sheet would have been what is it? Your next one, FFA basics. Your next one is the emblem, then important dates, then official dress, then the creed, and then opportunity. So make sure that you label those correctly. Then on the back, turn it over, and in the bottom left hand corner, write your name. Okay, these tend to fall out of notebooks, so it's important that you put your name on it. In case it does fall out, we know who it belongs to. So once you have everything labeled, the last step, take your hole puncher. If you guys will pass that around, carefully slide it in at the top and punch holes, and then this way you've got holes here. You can put it in your notebook and keep up with it a little bit better. Okay, so that's all for this part of the lesson. So our next part will be to get our information